Okay, everybody, we are going to get started in just a minute. So make sure we've got everybody. And once we've got everyone, if you can all just make sure you've got a pencil, a pen, and a bit of paper and whatever you need to write stuff down. It's going to be the usual format for the quiz, going to be the usual sort of 3 rounds. We've got a round on sport, which is basically the World Cup round. We've got a round on Christmas and things like that, and we've got a general knowledge round, so it's pretty much the same structure as usual. Just going to give it a little bit longer for a couple of people to join. I've not been very well, I'm afraid, so if I break off and I start coughing, don't worry too much. I will be back in a minute. This is full of Lemsip to help me get through, but I think we'll manage all right. So 10 participants. I think I am going to get started. So if you bear with me 1 second, we will get the screen up. And there we are. All right, DSC quiz. Okay. Well, if we're all sitting comfortably, I will begin. First round, sport round, and because of course we've just had the World Cup recently, this is the Football World Cup edition. So, without further ado, our first question: which country is hosting this year's World Cup? Which country hosted this year's World Cup? And as ever, what I'm going to do, I'll go through the questions in the round, then I will go back. I just go through them once, and I'll go back, just run through them again, and then we'll move on. So we'll do all 3 rounds of questions, and then we'll do all 3 rounds of answers. Which country is hosting this year's World Cup? Question 2. Moving on to question 2. Who knocked England out of this year's World Cup in the quarterfinals? So England went out this year in the quarterfinals. What I want to know is who beat them. And in the photo there, you've got Harry Kane slapping his forehead after he missed a crucial penalty. So who were England playing when they got knocked out in the quarterfinals? Moving on to question 3. Which country does Lionel Messi play for? Picture of him there. His little celebration against, I think that's a photo taken from their game against the Netherlands. Which country does Lionel Messi play for? Okay, going on to question 4. The World Cup trophy was famously stolen in 1966 and later found by an animal called Pickles. What sort of animal was Pickles? Was Pickles A, a cat, B, a horse, or C, was Pickles, the animal that found the World Cup, a dog? And so I'll tell you the story of what happened. The World Cup was stolen. It was held in England in 1966, and it was stolen, I think, just before the tournament. And it was a guy got in touch with the police, and he said, "I stole the World Cup, and I want you to pay me a couple of £100,000 to get it back." And of course, he was arrested. And the World Cup was later found wrapped up in a brown paper bag underneath the wheel of a car. So it was underneath the car's rear tire, I think. And this particular animal called Pickles found it and became very famous as a result of finding the World Cup. What was Pickles? That is the question. Cat, dog, or horse? Moving on to question 5. How often is the World Cup held? Is it held every 2 years, every 4 years, or every 6 years? How often is the World Cup held? 2, 4, or 6 years? Okay, we'll run through all those questions once more, just very briefly. Question 1, which country is hosting this year's World Cup? Country is hosting this year's World Cup. Question 2, who knocked England out of this year's World Cup in the quarterfinals? Who were they beaten by? I think the final score was 2-1. Question 3, which country does Lionel Messi play for? There's a picture of him in their game against the Netherlands just there. Question 4, the World Cup trophy was stolen in 1966 and found by an animal called Pickles. What sort of animal was Pickles? Question 5, how often is the World Cup held? Is it every 2 years, every 4 years, or is it held every 6 years? All right, so I hope we've all had a bit of time to think of our answers. If everyone is all right, I will move on to the next round. If you're not, then as normal, just let me know if you've got any questions you want to hear again, and I'll just briefly go back to them. So on we go to round 2, which this time is all about Christmas. So this is the Christmas round, nice and festive themed. Question 1, where does Father Christmas live? Does he live at the South Pole? Does he live at the North Pole? Or does he live in Jamaica? Where does Father Christmas live? Is it the South Pole? Is it the North Pole? Or is it Jamaica? Those of you who've been watching your holiday movies ought to have a good idea here. Right, we've just got one person to bring in. So, question 1, round 2. Where does Father Christmas live? Is it the South Pole? Is it the North Pole? Or is it Jamaica? Moving on to question 2. What name is given to December 26th? Is December 26th MMA Day? Is it Kung Fu Day? Or is it Boxing Day? What is December 26th? Is that MMA Day? Is it Kung Fu Day? Or is it Boxing Day? What is December 26th? Okay, going to move on to question 3 in 1 second. So moving on to question 3. Which singer, there's a picture of her just there, which singer, known as the Queen of Christmas, is famous for her song, All I Want for Christmas Is You? Is it Celine Dion? Is it Mariah Carey? Or is it Nicki Minaj? So who sings All I Want for Christmas Is You? All I Want for Christmas Is You. Is that Celine Dion? Is it Mariah Carey? Or is it Nicki Minaj? There's a picture of this singer just here. And if you ever want a bit of entertainment, you should look up what her Christmas Day routine is, because it is genuinely spectacular. Okay, moving on to question 4. Name any 3 of Santa's reindeer. So Santa has 9 reindeer, 9 famous reindeer, the 8 traditional ones that pull the sleigh, and then 1 extra one. And I just want you to tell me any 3 of Santa's reindeer. Quite a tough one. Okay, moving on to the last question in the round, question 5. We have traditionally, nice children get presents in their stocking. What do naughty children get instead? Naughty children get something, it's not a present. They get something nasty. I want to know, what is it that naughty children get in their stockings? It's not a present, it is something nasty. So if you're a naughty child, what do you get instead of a present? Okay, and we're going to move on to the general knowledge. No, we won't do that. We'll go back through the questions briefly. Question 1 of the Christmas round: where does Father Christmas live? Is it the South Pole, the North Pole, or Jamaica? Question 2: what name is given to December 26th? Is it MMA Day? Is it Kung Fu Day? Or is it Boxing Day? Question 3: which singer, known as the Queen of Christmas, is famous for her song All I Want for Christmas Is You? Is that Celine Dion? Is it Mariah Carey? Or is it Nicki Minaj? Question 4: can you name any 3 of Santa's reindeer? Any 3 of them. Question 5: traditionally, nice children get presents in their stocking, but what do naughty children get instead? You can tell me that one. All right, if anyone wants to hear any of those again, let me know. If not, I will assume we're all good, and I'll move on to our third and final round. Third and final round, of course, is general knowledge, as ever. And question 1 of our general knowledge round is: Sir Paul McCartney is famous as a... is he a painter? Is he a swimmer? Or is he a musician? There's a big picture of him just there. So Paul McCartney, very, very famous man. Is he famous as a painter? Is he famous as a swimmer? Or is he famous as a musician? In fact, Sir Paul McCartney. Okay, moving on now to question 2. Which online shopping company does billionaire Jeff Bezos own? Many of you probably might have bought Christmas presents from this place or bought bits and pieces over the Christmas holidays from this particular company. Which online shopping company does billionaire Jeff Bezos own? You'll see a picture of him there, looking every inch a billionaire, smug in the only way you can when you're capable of buying the entirety of Tanzania. Which online shopping company does Jeff Bezos own? Now, question 3, moving on to question 3. How many planets are there in the solar system? Are there 6, are there 8, or are there 14? How many planets are there in the solar system? And the picture there is Jupiter, and up at the top, you'll see it's got a sort of blue halo. That is because Jupiter has northern lights as well. So if you go right to the far north of Earth, you sometimes see lights in the sky caused by stuff coming off the sun. Jupiter has those as well. So how many planets are there in the solar system? Is it 6, is it 8, or is it 14? Moving on to question 4. What is the English name for the bit of sea between Britain and France? Is it the English Channel? Is it the shipping lane? Or is it the Wales Road? The big picture of it from space there. So you'd have Dover just there, Calais kind of just over here, and you've got this bit of water in between England here and France there. So is that called the English Channel? Is it called the shipping lane? Or is it called the Wales Road? And on to question 5, the last question of our quiz tonight. True or false? Scotland has 5 working ski resorts. Is that true or false? And the picture you can see there is taken from one of them. So there's at least one, because that picture is taken from one of Scotland's ski resorts. True or false? There are 5 working ski resorts in Scotland. Right, I'm going to go back through the questions again. Question 1 in this round: Sir Paul McCartney is famous as A, a painter, B, a swimmer, or C, a musician. Which one is he famous as? Question 2, which online shopping company does billionaire Jeff Bezos own? Originally started as a bookseller and then expanded into various other things. Question 3, how many planets are there in the solar system? Are there 6, are there 8, or are there 14? And I imagine that there's a couple of people scratching their heads and going, none of those is the correct answer. I can assure you one of those is the correct answer. Question 4, what is the English name for the bit of sea between Britain and France? Is it the English Channel, is it the shipping lane, or is it the Wales Road? And that final question, true or false? Scotland has 5 working ski resorts. Okay, if anybody wants to hear any of the questions from the quiz again, this is the time to ask. I'll give you another sort of few seconds, and then we're gradually going to move our way through the answers. All right. So let us see. Move on to the answers. What about now? The answers. Hope we're all ready. I hope we've all got our best guesses, got our best attempts at those questions. So we'll do the first round first, because where else is it going to go? Sport round, World Cup edition. Which country is hosting this year's World Cup? The answer is Qatar. That is how it's written, Qatar. It's in the Middle East. Question 2. That's popped up early. France. France knocked England out of this year's World Cup. 2-1. Question 3. Which country does Lionel Messi play for? They went on to win the whole World Cup, cementing Messi's place as possibly the greatest footballer ever. He plays for Argentina. Lionel Messi plays for Argentina. Question 4. The World Cup trophy was famously stolen in 1966 and found by an animal called Pickles. Pickles was a dog. It's a dog called Pickles found the World Cup and brought it back. Question 5. How often is the World Cup held? Is it every 2 years, every 4 years, or every 6 years? It is held every 4 years. It's held every 4 years. Okay, moving on to the answers for the Christmas round now. Question 1. Where does Father Christmas live? Does he live at the South Pole, the North Pole, or in Jamaica? He lives at the North Pole. Father Christmas lives famously at the North Pole. Question 2. What name is given to December 26th? MMA Day, Kung Fu Day, or the correct answer, Boxing Day? Boxing Day. Question 3. Which singer, known as the Queen of Christmas, is famous for her song All I Want for Christmas Is You? That is Mariah Carey. Mariah Carey is the Queen of Christmas, and she's most famous for song All I Want for Christmas Is You. Question 4. Name any 3 of Santa's reindeer. How many people managed to do this, do they think? Name 3 of Santa's reindeer. So, Santa's reindeer, you could have had Dasher, Dancer, Prancer, Vixen, Comet, Cupid, Donner, and Blitzen, or of course, Rudolph. So you could have had any 3 from that list of 9. So Dasher, Dancer, Prancer, Vixen, Comet, Cupid, Donner, Blitzen, or Rudolph. Question 5. Moving on to question 5. Traditionally, nice children get presents in their stocking, but what do naughty children get instead? They get lumps of coal. If you are bad, you don't get presents, you get lumps of coal. I'm due quite a few lumps of coal this year. All right, general knowledge answers. General knowledge answers. Last round, last answers. Question 1, Sir Paul McCartney is most famous as a musician. He was a member of the Beatles, so he's been a musician for something like 60, 65 years now. And he's written a huge number of songs, enormously famous. Even if you don't know his name, you would recognize probably quite a lot of his songs if you heard them. Paul McCartney is a famous musician. Question 2, which online shopping company does Jeff Bezos own? It is Amazon. He is the founder and owner of Amazon. Question 3. How many planets are there in the solar system? There are 8. Pluto is not a planet. Used to be a planet. It was a planet from when it was discovered in 1930 up until something like 5 or 10 years ago, when they decided actually it was too small and it didn't meet the criteria to be a planet. So there are 8 planets in the solar system. Question 4. What is the English name for the bit of sea between Britain and France? That is the English Channel. The English Channel is a shipping lane. A shipping lane is a route in the ocean where lots and lots of ships sail through. And the Wales Road is an old term used for the sea. It's used in Beowulf, famous English poem Beowulf, but it does not refer to that bit of water. The name of that bit of water is the English Channel. Question 5, last question. Scotland has 5 working ski resorts. Yes, it does. Glencoe, Nevis Range, the Lecht, Glenshee, and Cairngorm. And that particular picture is taken from Glassmaul at Glenshee, which is a really nice ski run. Rivals anything they have in the Alps, but only when there's enough snow, which is about once every 10 years.
That's got skiing.
Skiing, yeah.
Skiing. I haven't been skiing in 10 years. I want to go skiing again.
I've been skiing.
I'll go 15 ones. I'll go 15.
Add up your scores, everybody. How did we all do?
I'll go 15.
Well
I
done.
got 15. 15,
That's
15, 15, 15.
Out of Wayloo.
That's great. Well done, everyone.
So how many do we get?
15.
15. That's good.
Yeah, great scores.
I got
everybody.
13. 13. Yeah, got 13.
Great scores, everybody.
Just sit in the bath with the oil.
Yeah.
Rain.